This video will cover some keyboard shortcuts which will be useful while you're using Macs. The first one, which I think is really useful, is pressing Z. Whenever you press Z, it will zoom in as close as it can to your object that's selected in all of the viewports. This is useful for when, for example, you manage to lose something in any of your viewports and you can't find it. Then if you press Z, then it resets the selected item, or in fact all of the items if none of them are selected, so into the viewport so that you can at least find them again. So Z is really useful on its own. Sometimes the axis tool that you use to move things around is not actually visible, it's actually shown like this, and that can be really frustrating when you go to the move tool or the select tool or the rotation tool and scale tools, and they're just not there. So if you press X, that actually brings those back up. So I'm toggling X on the keyboard now just to show you that it turns it on and off. Another one is W, E and R. If I press R, then that will brings in this scale tool, which I'm using my normal left mouse button now just to drag up and down to show you that it scales the size of the object. If I press E, it brings rotation tool, which if I then select the axis, the one that's selected is yellow, I can rotate that object around along those axes, and on the outside I can rotate the whole thing. And then again, W is for move in one axis or another, or indeed if I choose where one of the squares where both are actually selected, I can move in those axes. It's probably best if you actually have a go at doing this. You get to feel what the difference is. That's the main point with this. If I just right click on a different view, I can use on the mouse now. You can use the scroll button to scroll in and out. That's quite useful. Right click onto a different view and scroll out. So if I go around here, I want to show you something on here. These squares are actually quite annoying, especially while watching on YouTube videos, but they're annoying also on screen because they end up hurting your eyes after several hours of using Macs. If you press G on the keyboard, it switches them off, so you can right click in each view and switch them off. You can even do it in the perspective view if you wish to, but I personally find that quite useful to have on there. So that's those. Oh, let's just press Z. So that's the next one I can show you. If you hold the Alt key down with the roller button of your mouse depressed, you can actually rotate around in your perspective view and actually have a look at all the way around your object. That's useful in the perspective view, but you shouldn't really do this in the top view, front view, or left view. If you do that, what happens is it swaps from being whichever view it was to being the orthographic view, which it will do it, but it's quite annoying, and especially when you've got the grid on, because the grid makes absolutely no sense after that and just looks like interference. So only use the Alt and the middle mouse button to rotate around your object in the perspective view. I'll just switch that back to the left view by pressing L. If you want to reset your top view, you press T. If you want to reset the front view, press F. Just press G to get rid of that grid again. Now you can also press the Control key down while you press the middle mouse button, and what you'll find is that this will allow you to pan or move around in your display. But as you can see, it's different to pressing the Alt key. If I swap to the Alt key now, this will rotate around, where if I swap to the Control key, then it moves side to side. So Control side to side, Alt is moving around, and that movement in and out is because I'm using a mouse which doesn't have it just has free spin on it, so it's quite sensitive. And I'm moving in and out to show you how you can zoom in and out. These controls are available in the bottom right hand corner, but it's better to know the keyboards, the shortcuts, because they're actually quite useful.